What's going on, everybody? Welcome in to Blazers Uprise Live here on a Thursday. The finals are done, the offseason is here, and we had our first trade. Trade season has officially begun as the Thunder and the Bulls swung a deal today. The notoriously inactive Bulls actually did something, but did they do something too late? We're going to talk about it. We're also going to talk about a couple of re-signings as free agency has kind of technically started. I don't even know what to call this. This is pre-free agency. We need a term for this, Eric. But a couple of guys have re-signed. You can see their names there on the left. As you can see by the rundown as well, we're going to talk about a big Blazers rumor. If you missed this rumor, we're going to fill you in. And I saw a part of this rumor, but I don't know the full story. So Eric's going to read it off and get my reaction as to names that the Blazers are supposedly targeting. So that'll be my honest reaction later on in the stream. That should be fun. We're also going to talk about the latest draft intel, because with less than a week until the draft, now is when the rumors start running wild. Eric, you ran wild today because you had a rec game. Your rec season started, so you're a gazelle out there on the court. But how was that, and how are you doing?
I was okay. Just good to get back out on the court. How are you doing? Did you have a rec game too, or do you not?
I played rec. I played summer in our league. Some teams don't show up, so you can usually sub whenever you want to. So that's fun because I can go in and get running whenever I want to. But yeah, no, it was fine. A little bit of a shooting slump right now. My basketball got stolen 3 weeks ago, so I can't even go to the gym and shoot around a little bit when I want to, and that's how I break out of slumps. So I'm just in a shooting slump right now. But I got the Luka Doncic 10-second two-step Euro step down right now.
Nice.
Except when I play dudes that can windmill on you, then they just then it's a struggle. But no, it's been good. It's been good. I've been dieting. Already lost some pounds. Eric, you inspired me.
Nice.
So I've been feeling better. My knees are feeling better. My knees aren't normally after I play and I sit here streaming, I have this wall in front of me, so I can't actually extend my legs. Normally I sit here trying not to cramp up. It's rough. It's rough. But still, just so I'm hydrated, I got the Gator Light. These are a hot topic apparently. Some people hate them, some people like them. I got the sparkling ice. I'm trying to do the no sugar stuff right now. So I got the Gatorade Zero. I got the Smart Water. We'll see how much of this I drink tonight. Who knows? You guys are going to... I also got a Sour Powerade because it's kind of interesting. That's the sugary drink today. But I lost weight. I'm good. So, can kind of cheat a little bit tonight. But I'm wearing the Coke. I'm wearing the Coke shirt. No more Coca-Cola for me, Eric. I am done. So hopefully chat's proud of me. Anyway.
Sparkling ice is one of the products I stock.
Dude, have you had the Starburst sparkling ice?
I have, yeah.
Okay. Which one is it? The strawberry one is so good.
I don't know if I've had the strawberry. I've had the other three.
Well, you've missed out because the strawberry one is the best one. The lemon one just kind of tastes like lemonade. I don't know. The lemon one tastes kind of weird. The orange one just tastes like orange. The strawberry one actually tastes like a legitimate Starburst. So, and it's no sugar in it. It's impressive stuff.
Nice.
So,
what's up, chat? Welcome to the show. Hope everyone's doing good out there in chat land.
Chat land. Yeah, hopefully you guys are doing good. Let me know how your week's been down in the live chat. We'll hopefully have some time, maybe do live advice later. I'm not sure. It's been a minute. You guys have begged for it. Somebody lamented the fact that we were not doing live advice on the last stream. So maybe today, if you need two basketball YouTubers to advise you on some of the biggest decisions in your life, you've come to the right place. Speaking of the right place, Malik Monk thinks Sacramento is the right place, Eric. I can segue anything, by the way. Malik Monk re-signs with the Sacramento Kings. He was a name that I thought might be headed elsewhere. In our mock-off season, he went elsewhere. But he stays in Sacramento on a 4-year, $78 million deal. That's $19.5 million per year. It also includes a player option for year 4. Price-wise, Eric, is that an overpay? Is that an underpay? Or is that just right?
I see a lot of people saying it's an underpay. I think it's about right. I mean, maybe a slight underpay, but if you're Malik Monk, you could have risked being a free agent and potentially getting a few million more a season. But there is only a handful of teams that could pay you more money, and you have to need one of those teams to offer you more than 4 years, almost $80 million. So I think it's about perfect. It keeps him from having to, that's generational money, and it's not that far off that if he would have gotten a bidding war going for him in free agency, maybe got up to 24, 25 million. I mean, over the length of the contract, maybe that adds up, but I don't think it was worth risking not being able to re-sign. Like if there was rumors today about, or there's been rumors for a while about the Bulls offering 15 different trade scenarios for Zach LaVine to the Sacramento Kings. And so if you risk it and the Kings make a trade and then one of those teams with the cap space doesn't offer you, then you're looking at, a full mid-level exception, or like 13 million or so a season. So I think this is about what the market would have been for him.
I agree. The only way he gets more is if there's a team like completely desperate.
Yeah.
So, with a re-signing like this before free agency, you have to think, okay, there's a level of foresight that both the organization and Malik Monk's agent has in terms of what sort of deals he's going to be able to procure in this upcoming free agent market, which justifies whatever price he gets paid. Now, you could say that Sacramento, maybe it was they didn't want to lose him. They were scared of the possibility of losing him, so they were willing to overpay a little bit in the future. Yeah. With this being a new rule, you might see deals where players get overpaid simply because the team... I'm butchering every word right here. In the future, you might see players get overpaid because teams don't want to let them even listen to offers from other teams. They don't even want to risk it. I don't think this is that. I think this is a completely fine contract. I just thought it was a little bit interesting because I thought Malik Monk was headed for free agency.
Yeah, also at play here, Monk missed a good chunk of the season last year with injuries. So maybe he was worried about if that happened again, maybe lowering his value if he took a shorter contract or something with another team. So I think, getting paid, he's been a guy who's not been able to stick around with one franchise for very long for whatever reason. I'm sure LA is kicking themselves for not locking him up long term. But I know he's really good friends with De'Aaron Fox, and they go back to their Kentucky days. It's just a good situation for him. So I think, why try to scrap for a little bit more money if they thought it was a fair deal? And it does take off one of the key free agents off the books, as David Yu points out in chat. But I don't know. I kind of like that we have some re-signings right now, even if they'll be less later because of it.
Yeah. Not too many more. Not too many more. We want fun free agency. The last couple free agencies has been a little bit boring with some of the re-signings. You know, part of that is us hoping the Blazers freaking do something. Now, this year, we know they're not going to do anything because they ain't got no money. And they ain't got no reason. And no free agent has any reason to come here. So, we're going into that day. I don't know, Eric. We're going to have to think of fun things to do on that stream because it's more going to be a hangout, not a... Man, what can the Blazers do? This free agent coming off the board means that maybe they can get this guy instead. Maybe we'll get Paul Millsap or Christian Wood. Shout out to you guys if you remember those days. Oh, we got Derrick Jones Jr., hat flip. None of that this year, unfortunately. But I would like for some names, just to spice it up, to potentially be on the move. We'll see. Malik Monk off the board.
Another note that just came down about a half an hour ago from Evan Siddery regarding the Kings. They are still actively scouring the trade market for an impact wing. Brandon Ingram and Kyle Kuzma are two players to closely monitor as targets.
Jeremy Grant.
Sacramento has been shopping the number 13 pick with Kevin Huerter and Harrison Barnes as the salaries to match.
Can I just toss Jeremy Grant out there?
Yeah.
Give me, you know what? Give me 13. Flip Harrison Barnes to Cleveland for 20, trade Cleveland 34, and then you have 7, 13, 14, 20, and 40.
Yeah, for those that don't know, Tori did a stream on Bleacher Report today. He presented
I'm a sellout.
Several trade ideas. So you can go search that on Bleacher Report after the stream.
I saw you in there, Eric. There was a lot of people hating on trades that I thought should not have gotten hate at all, man.
Well, I mean, we've talked about this before, Tori. It's the idea that people don't understand the types of trades the Blazers need to make.
Yeah.
And it's like trades with Miami. You know, they just see Kyle Lowry's name. Kyle Lowry sucks. He's old. Why would we trade for him?
Yep.
And it seemed like there was a bunch of people in that chat. We've tried to explain it to people who watch our show, but when you're doing something on a platform where maybe you're getting viewers that you don't normally get, it's hard to explain that. But it seemed like a lot of the people in chat were the type that expect if you trade Malcolm Brogdon, you're going to get like 2 first-round picks and some like superstar player in return. And so
it even cracked me a little bit. I was like, sure, you know, I'd love to get 3 first-round picks and 2 good young players from Malcolm Brogdon. That's just not realistic. I don't know who these people are listening to regarding their trade talk, their trade information, but yeah, it made me really appreciate our chat that much more, Eric. I already appreciate our chat for sure. But man, it's nice to come here and actually be able to talk about a Malcolm Brogdon trade without getting hated on because we're only getting 1 first-round pick back for him.
I mean, you and I both know, and I hope chat realizes this too. If we get a first for Malcolm Brogdon at this point, I am doing backflips and praising Joe Cronin for waiting, because you don't gotta do all that. No, I'm just saying, I feel like it's going to be difficult to not only find a trade partner for him, but also get value for him and for him to pass a physical. So if those things happen and he gets cleared medically enough to warrant a first-round pick in return, I am going to be ecstatic. So, but like a lot of people didn't seem to be on that same page.
I don't know what's worse. You praising Joe Cronin or you trying to do backflips, because I don't think you can do a full rotation.
Yeah, I can't do a backflip, but
I don't know. That might not be worse than Cronin praise, though. I don't know. Yeah. Anyway,
a backflip in my mind, like
maybe I can animate you doing a backflip. Maybe we'll do that.
Avatar for me.
Yeah. I wish there was a way I could like make your webcam just like spin like constantly. That would be a cool feature. Anyway. Speaking, Eric, of spinning. Oh my God, my segues. Spin move extraordinaire Pascal Siakam re-signed with the Indiana Pacers on a 4-year, $189.5 million maximum contract. Eric, it's not quite Trevor Lawrence money, but good for the Pacers keeping him after they traded for him.
Yeah, because I don't know. I did think that Siakam would have fit well on Philadelphia. They obviously couldn't have offered him a 5th year, but then he doesn't end up getting a 5th year with Indiana. So I thought that was a pretty good contract, and I knew Indiana was going to have to do that. Once they traded for him, it would have been silly for them to give up what they gave up, even though it was maybe below what Toronto could have gotten in previous years for him. But I felt like they had to re-sign him, and Siakam, from all reports, was happy to go to Indiana. And when you have a guy that is happy to go there, when you're the smallest market in the NBA, you got to just run with it. So I thought that was a good move by them. They're still going to have to tweak their roster, I think, and make some other savvy moves elsewhere. But I thought this was a good first step for them.
Agreed. They have the ability to make other moves, and they can. You got to trade the player that you acquired. So I don't really know if they need a number one. I mean, they made the Eastern Conference Finals, and were just about as competitive against Boston while missing Tyrese Halliburton for a couple games as Dallas was. So good move. They're young. They got time. Knew Siakam was going to get a max contract. Not surprised by this one at all. This one isn't really even that noteworthy because fully expected Siakam to go back.
Yeah, like you said, pretty obvious re-signing. So yeah, this one didn't hurt that it was early. But yeah, solid move. Siakam doesn't. I mean, how old is he now?
28. That's my best guess. I don't know.
Are you looking it up? Yeah.
Oh, he's 30. Damn.
He's 30. Yeah. So I don't know. His game isn't super athletic, so that contract might look a little bad towards the end of it. And he's a little bit off from the timeline, but was a good fit. And like I said, when you're a team like Indiana, who hasn't really had a huge history of signing free agents or anything like that, you got to take the players that want to be there. And so yeah, key piece to getting them to the conference finals. Mm-hmm. And you re-sign him, and now, like I said, you just got your work cut out to make sure that rotation is locked in with as best as it can be at the other positions.
Now I'm just confused because he was 22 when he got drafted, but he only played 2 years of college. So I don't know.
Yeah, he was one of those guys, I think, that came over late.
Yeah. Playing overseas before that.
Well, he was in the... I believe he's from Cameroon, right? Or somewhere like that.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think he was in the early stages of that African Academy.
Yeah.
And then played in that for a couple of years, and then... But, I mean, he was a relative unknown even when he was drafted, so...
Yeah. That's why that surprised me a little bit, but surprising did not surprise me. But Eric, you know what? You know what did surprise me? Which it shouldn't have. This should not have surprised me at all, to be honest. But it still surprised me. Okay? And what surprised me is the Bulls being trash.
Wait,
and completely incompetent. Well, there's levels to incompetency, right? We talk about it all the time with our own team. But oh my goodness, Eric, disgusting trade made today. Absolutely disgusting trade made today. The Chicago Bulls traded Alex Caruso, finally, for Josh Giddey. After turning down apparently a top 10 pick, I don't know if that was this year or in a previous year, after turning down deals that would have gotten them multiple first-round picks. They go for the guy that was completely played off the floor this past year and has an archetype that does not translate well to the postseason. And if they keep DeRozan like they supposedly want to, because they apparently still want to go for it, I don't know how trading Caruso for Josh Giddey helps them, but I also don't know why the hell they're still trying to go for it. What are you going for? Play-ins? Congrats. The Bulls just made what I think has a good chance of being the worst deal of the offseason. It's not even draft time yet, Eric. It's disgusting. What do you think?
Yeah, so I got out of work. It was right around 3 o'clock. I turned on the radio, and they were just joking about it was a show that doesn't really care that much about the NBA, so they were joking about how impactful this trade was that they didn't care about. And so I'm like, oh, wow, the Bulls got the 12th pick? Like, that's pretty crazy, or that's a good move for them. And then, so I go on my phone before I take off out of the parking lot, and I see it's just a straight across swap. I was like, what? How did they not get a pick after, like you mentioned, all the rumors about potential picks they gave up in trades or offers? And then their situation with their draft picks isn't great anyway moving forward still because of bad trades they made in the past. So how could you not get some sort of pick compensation from a team that has 8 million picks too? Like, that makes no sense to me. Like, to me, they got played because the way the NBA treated Giddey, and you can argue rightfully so or not. I'm not saying this wasn't warranted because I think it was. But, I mean, he was getting booed in Portland. Like, every city he went to, every time he touched the ball, he was getting booed. Like, the NBA fans did not like him anymore. And that would have affected his trade value for most teams. Yeah. A team might have traded for him for cheap as a flyer type of move. But when you're trading one of the better role player defenders in the NBA for him, I can't get behind that. Like, I don't understand what you're doing. And then that's not even including the fit question marks like you brought up. When you have guards like Kobe White and
Dosunmu was low-key really good last year.
Yeah, like, those guys, I don't know. Giddey, he's one of those classic players that if he's handling the ball a lot on your team, you're not very good. And if he's not very impactful. So it's tough to fit those guys in a team. And now he's on a team where I would have been saying the same thing if Portland traded like Brogdon for him or something. Like, I understand that we would have saved a ton of cap space, but like with Scoot and stuff like that, I just don't think Giddey would have been a great fit here either. But other than Portland, I can't think of a much worse fit than if they re-signed DeMar DeRozan and kind of run that team back just with adding Giddey. It just does not seem like a good, savvy move. And to not get any pick compensation for it, just mind-boggling, man.
I just hate this trade for pure basketball reasons.
Yeah.
Like, you touched upon it, man. This archetype of player is one that I do not like. And you explained it pretty well. You're not going to put the ball in his hands all the time. Because if you're competent at all as a team and as an organization, you're going to have better players to put the ball in their hands. Okay? Which means he needs to be able to play off those guys. And the best thing would be, okay, you got a guy that can make plays and a guy that can play off players that are better. He cannot play off the ball. Dallas completely ignored him and played him off the floor in that second round series this year. Every game, Giddey was like It could be a close game, and you look at the box score, and in like 8 minutes, Josh Giddey minus 20. Right? Like, they got outscored badly when he was on the floor. And it's because he can't space the floor and he can't play defense. He can't shoot. He can't defend. He needs the ball in his hands, but you're not going to have SGA playing off Josh Giddey. Right. You're not going to have Chet Holmgren can play off the ball pretty dang well, like pick and roll, target, spot up three-point shooter, whatever. So maybe you have, like, Chet can function off him, but it's just like, I'd rather have the ball in SGA's hands and Jalen Williams' hands and Chet's hands than Josh Giddey's hands. On the other end, he's giving up points. On the other end, he gets hunted. Right? If he's on the court, teams are running his guy as the screener and trying to force a switch. And then if there's not a switch, then maybe turning the corner and having a wide open lane off the pick and roll. Because Giddey does not defend well. Teams hunt that matchup. Those types of guys in the playoffs get hunted. He has to be good enough on the other end of the floor to justify that. But his style of play does not lead to team success. He's skilled, but not skilled enough to justify putting the ball in his hands all the time. And that's the only way he works, is if he has the ball in his hands all the time, because he cannot play off ball. He can't space. He's not a cutter. He's not athletic. So people say, oh, he put up 16, 8, and 6 or whatever, like, in his second year, and he's only 21, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, okay, he puts up box score stats on a play-in team last year. That's probably his best role, is putting up stats on a bad team, in my opinion. Now, maybe he can figure out the shot, and that opens up everything else. I just don't think he'll ever be a good three-point shooter or a good enough three-point shooter in order to be a good off-ball player. Because I still don't like him as a cutter. I still don't like him. Like, he's not a play finisher. He's not athletic. Like, he's just, He's just to me. And defensively, he's awful. And that's because small wingspan compared to his height, he does not have athletic gifts whatsoever. So I hate him as your prize for someone that you could have gotten back a ton of value for if you just bit the bullet and traded him earlier. And this isn't on their GM, because their ownership has been mandating that they go for playoffs. That they go for the playoffs. Cool, what, you want an extra little bit of ticket sales as you get freaking smoked by the Boston Celtics in round one? That's your goal as an organization. I mean, just disgusting stuff. They are the worst ran organization in the league. They are ran worse than the Portland Trail Blazers. I am very comfortable saying that. At times I've said the Blazers might be the worst run team in the organization. I've disagreed with a ton of stuff that's happened. But today I was thankful that hopefully we're not this stupid.
Please don't say hold my beer, Portland. I just thought in the playoffs in particular, every game, every second half where he came back in with the starters at the beginning of the half, it just became painfully obvious that they needed to switch their lineup around. And I think they might have at the end. I can't remember, but the games they didn't. They still managed to win some of them, but it seemed like it was in spite of Giddey, not because of him or anything. But on the flip side, we have a team in the Thunder that was already really good at creating turnovers, one of the best in the league. And then they add one of the better perimeter defenders, one of the best players that knows his role and just provides toughness out there at the point of attack. And so this is just a sick trade, too, from the perspective of, I mean, Caruso's not exactly super young, but that team in general is still really young. And between them and San Antonio and having to deal with Wemby and all that kind of stuff, and who knows who the Spurs add this offseason, I just think even if Portland has a successful rebuild, we're still going to be in some trouble trying to compete with these teams that are making really good moves. And, man, it's just going to be tough to ever make a run with all these teams that are already establishing themselves, and they seem to still have a long window for when they're going to be good.
I mean, I don't know. I don't even like viewing things like, man, it's going to be really hard 5 years from now to win because you're going to have Wemby.
Well, yeah, you never know 5 years.
Like in playoffs, as we've seen, is a bit of attrition, and you never know who could go down. You never know who could be in a shooting slump. I mean, Denver wins it all, and the Timberwolves are like laughed at because the Rudy Gobert trade is horrible, and then the Timberwolves beat them. You know what I mean? Like, just as long as you have a fighting chance, and if you're a good enough team, you have a fighting chance against anybody, because nobody will be as dominant as like the KD Warriors. I don't think you'll ever see a team like that. Even you could maybe say maybe OKC could get there with all their picks and this and that, but given the new CBA, given the super tax and all that, it's really, really hard to maintain that. I think that, you know, it's still going to be an opportunity if the Blazers build correctly.
Yeah.
Like, it comes down to, you got to build the Blazers as best as you can build the Blazers. Now, you can look at it like, okay, we need somebody to guard Chet and Wemby long term. Alex Sarr would be a really good get for that, but ultimately, you got to focus on doing what's best for yourself and building the best possible team that you possibly can. That simple. The Thunder have done an amazing job of that, and this trade is just another one in the long list of accumulating assets, because Caruso is much more than an asset than Josh Giddey is. Like, I think Caruso, at least according to reports, has more trade value than Jeremy Grant. You know how pissed off I'd be if we were sitting here, we just traded Jeremy Grant for Josh freaking Giddey?
Yeah.
People would be like, you wanted Jeremy Grant gone. What do you mean? You wanted to go younger. You would see me rage like never before if we traded Jeremy Grant for Josh freaking Giddey, man. Yeah. So, I mean, and Caruso, I think, had more trade value than Jeremy Grant. I don't get it. The Bulls suck. I feel bad for Bulls fans. At least the ones that are too young to know what winning a championship feels like with Jordan. Okay? So all the Gen Z Bulls fans, I feel bad for y'all.
Well, you say it's a war of attrition, but OKC has a great guard rotation, and they just got even better. And now they still kept all their picks, and I think they lost like $1 million in cap space or something. Not even enough to affect their plans this summer. So not only do they still have a ton of picks, they could pretty much outbid any team for any player, and they have cap space, or they could just keep picks and keep shooting for home runs or trying to hit home runs in the draft. They still have developmental guys like Ousmane Dieng who could develop, you know, and be good someday. And I don't know, man. I think it's going to be hard to screw that up if you're Sam Presti right now.
I mean, they had 3 future MVPs on the team at the same time and never won anything.
Yeah,
it's
true.
They could trade for somebody that just doesn't fit. I mean, if you know, you don't root for anyone to get injured, but if SGA goes down, like, that team is not that good without SGA.
It's kind of funny that Presti said he screwed up by trading for Gordon Hayward a few weeks ago.
That is funny. Like, they're in as good of a position as you could probably possibly be in. Although maybe San Antonio's in a better position because they have a future top 3 to 4 player of all time, probably. You know what I mean? Like, both those teams are set. But, Eric, like, I don't know. A storm is coming in the West, okay? The storm runs through San Antonio and OKC. And there's going to be other teams.
Maybe Minnesota.
I mean, Minnesota can... the thing is, Minnesota can defend and score.
Yeah.
You give yourselves a chance against anyone when you can play both sides of the ball well enough. Because, like, Minnesota, I think, has just enough offense they can win a shootout. If their defense isn't there one night, or their defense is getting exploited, or they don't match up well. When you got Anthony Edwards, Karl Anthony Towns, some good role players offensively, they can score just enough. But also, they can win the grinded out games where they lock you up, in the physical games, that sort of thing. ultimately you're going to have to play both sides of the court to beat OKC, to beat San Antonio. You're going to have to be able to win any type of game because you can't have off night. You won't be able to have off nights against those teams and be competitive. And those teams will force you to have rough shooting nights, given some of the defenders that they're going to have or already have. So long term, like the Blazers need to build a two-way team somehow, which means Scoot has to get better defensively. Shane Sharp has to get better defensively. The Blazers need to get a coach that can actually develop defense because I don't believe in Chauncey Billups' ability to develop defense. Ultimately, they probably need a new ownership group for that because this ownership group is happy paying Chauncey Billups $2 million a year while a podcaster in LA gets $8 million a year. I'd even put that on the rundown. Redick's going to LA. It's official. He's getting paid more than 4 times as much as Chauncey Billups. So, and Jody's sitting there happy, patting her wallet like, yeah, we got Chauncey as a coach. He's making basically vet minimum money. So, a lot of steps to even get to the point where we're talking about, can we possibly beat OKC?
Yeah, that's very true. So Monty Williams was let go. Do you have any interest in bringing him?
What a horrible hire, bro. These organizations are so incompetent. You hire this dude, you give him a contract he doesn't deserve. He spends 1 year there and then you fire him? If you were that set on him to give him that amount of money, you should have been set on him for more than a year. It just is directionless from a coaching standpoint. But if their owner is happy throwing away hordes of cash to Monty Williams for the next however many years, then, I mean, whatever, man. That's a joke.
Yeah, so the thing was with Monty, he didn't want to coach last year. And they just kept offering more and more money to him. They were desperate and gave him way too much money. And that's fine if you do that. But one, you need to make dang sure that's your guy. And two, you can't then, just have a bad season. Like, everyone knew Detroit was going to be bad this season. I mean, maybe they should have been a little better than they were. But it's not like Monty could have, done much more than he did this year. And, I don't think he's that great of a coach. So, yeah, I don't know. But I'm definitely not paying him. I don't think this season matters that much. So I'd rather pay Chauncey this low salary than pay Monty like $10 million to come here.
Yeah,
or how much ever it takes.
If you're going to replace Chauncey, you need to replace him with the right coach, whoever that is.
Yeah.
So, man, Bulls are directionless. They suck. Hawks are directionless. They suck. Nets are directionless. They suck. Those are the three teams that might be more directionless than Portland.
Yeah. In terms of the Hawks, we'll talk about them when we talk about latest draft intel later, but I do want to give them this offseason. If they fumble it this offseason, then I'm right there with you. But I do want to give them a chance this offseason.
People are saying Wizards. How? They chose the rebuild route. They traded away Bradley Beal. They didn't get crap for him because he had a no-trade clause. They probably should have traded him a little bit earlier. But at least they chose a rebuild route.
And they also have a new front office as of last year, so can't blame them for previous ones. Now, they might end up sucking and doing bad stuff. But so far, I don't know, if I was them, I probably would have – they should have traded Tyus Jones, in my opinion, at the deadline. They could have gotten something for him, but now he's a free agent, could leave for nothing. I still think they should trade Kuzma at some point. So, that Kings offer is on the table, I would take it. But I don't think they're necessarily directionless or going bad right now. Like I said, that could change. But you have Koulibaly, who's now 8'3", according to reports. Denny Avdia, had a really good year last year. So you're pretty much set at those two positions. You have the number 2 pick, so you should be able to be set at a third position now. I think guard is probably the easiest position to find, like a lead point guard, because there's so many of them. You still need to have one better than Jordan Poole, but whether they use their draft pick on that position or not, I think that eventually will be the key, is getting the right lead guard there. But they need some big depth, and they need a point guard. And we'll see what they do this offseason. Now, if they make horrible trades like Chicago just made, then we'll put them on the list, right?
Yep. Absolutely. Shout out to Chris S., member for 40 months. Says, let's pay someone who will actually develop our young players. I don't want to waste another year of Scoot and Sharp just to be cheap on Chauncey. To play devil's advocate, I don't think you can say Chauncey can't or isn't developing Scoot and Sharp. I think you need more of a sample and more time to judge Chauncey's development of Scoot and Sharp.
Yeah.
So, that's the one thing I'll give Chauncey, is he might be somebody that can develop somewhat, which is not a very strong statement by any means, but for Chauncey at least is something,
Yeah, I think so. We'll see what their rotation is like next year, but I hope they lean more. And this is more, in my opinion, Olshey did the same thing, where you'd have like a Harkless and Aminu, and then he'd want Collins and Hood to play, so he just lets them go in the offseason. Or, he wants CJ to be the starting 2 guard, so he lets West go. Stuff like that. So maybe Cronin can just make it so Chauncey doesn't have those veteran crutches to lean on. I think that's the only thing, as chat points out, that maybe, he leaned a little too much on some of the vets last year. But we are also having a lot of injuries, so I don't know if those injuries didn't play a factor.
Also, he was given a lot of vets to play.
Right.
So,
yeah.
I just got to disagree with the comment chat. Okay, there seems to be a misconception that developing players means not letting them play through mistakes. Mistakes are a part of development. Failures are a part of development. And that's not even just a basketball thing. That's a life thing. Okay? Failing is a part of becoming better. You can learn more from your failures than you can from your successes. It applies to sports. It applies to life. There's a comment that says, Chauncey gave Scoot a 100% green light. What are you talking about? He didn't bench Scoot when he make dumb turnovers. That doesn't mean that Chauncey wasn't developing Scoot at all.
Yeah, I'd say it's hard to know. I think, so right now, Scoot was in his rookie year. Now he has the whole offseason. He should be healthy enough to work on his game all offseason. So now you start to see next season, is he fixing some of that? And a lot of that falls on Scoot, not necessarily Chauncey, because if he wants to get better at the things he needs to get better at, he will be. Now the effort things, like on defense and stuff, and getting back, those, in my opinion, fall on Chauncey to make sure he understands and is accountable for the times when he does slack off on defense. And so hopefully that is something that Chauncey will look at this year. But yeah, I think you have to at least give it one legit offseason after Scoot learned what he needs to improve on to see what he improves on. So I think next year will be key. Now, if Scoot looks exactly the same all season long, still has a lot more turnovers than assists and all that kind of stuff, then then we can start talking about that. But as of right now, I just think it's hard to tell because, Sharp was looking like he was developing fine and then had injury problems too. So he missed 50 games. Yeah. So jury's still out on him as well.
And his muscles are developing, according to recent pictures.
Yeah, it looks like he's filling out a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I like that. I think
small forward size, Torrey.
Yeah. They told him he's going to have to play small forward, and he realized he's going to have to guard LeBron and I don't know who else is like a bulky good small forward. I mean, small forwards aren't even that bulky. Jalen Williams, although Sharp might be taller than Jalen Williams, but Jalen Williams was playing some 4. So anyway, let's talk about this big Blazer rumor. This juicy Blazer rumor. I've seen part of it. I have not seen the names attached to this rumor. I know one of the two. I don't know the second one. Eric said he was going to surprise me on stream to get my raw reaction, because we love raw reactions on this channel, right? So, Eric, the mic is yours. What we got?
So, The Athletic today had an article. It's no surprise this was all information that, for the most part, was widely known. That's the Grizzlies, Hornets, and Blazers are all continuing to try and move up. All 3 are interested in 2 players, according to this article. It was, they specifically said all 3 teams are interested in both of these players. So it wasn't like one of them's looking to move up for one and one of them's looking to move up for the other. It was that both of them were looking to move up. All 3 are looking to move up for Donovan Clingan, obviously.
That's the name I know. And
so the thing is, Clingan could go 1. There's still a lot more buzz about that, which we'll talk to. So Donovan Clingan could go 1 in this scenario. But this article seemed to indicate that all 3 teams would still be interested to moving up to 3 with Houston, because they're worried about the Spurs at 4 taking this guy. And the second guy all 3 teams, according to this article, are interested in is Reed Shepherd.
Bro, that is not the name I was expecting at all. For real?
That's what the article said. All 3 teams are interested in both Donovan Clingan and Reed Shepherd as trade-up possibilities. Now,
why
once
the
again,
hell would we want Reed Shepherd?
This is just what the article
said. Bro!
What was it? You need to clip that noise.
You know what? All the guards that Olshey supposedly loved was actually Cronin. I mean, what the hell, man? Like, bro, oh yeah, a 6'1" shooting guard is what we need, Eric. Maybe he can be our stretch 4.
I mean, he is different than all that.
He's good. We have 3 young guards. It's really so simple. Like, listen, if he's there at 7, you think he's the best player on the board, and you want to go for best player available, okay, fine, you can justify it with that. You cannot justify spending assets to trade up for him. That is ludicrous. That's ludicrous. All the people that love Cronin because they hated Olshey because Olshey loved guards too much, I hope would have a moment where they come to a realization like, oh, Cronin loves guards too, just not the best one in Blazer history. I mean, come on, man. Reed Shepherd. I was like, okay, he's going to say Risa Shea or Alex Sarr. And then when you brought up, like, they're worried about the Spurs taking him at 4, I was like, maybe he'll say Stephon Castle. And I would not be that mad at Stephon Castle at all because I like Castle. Wow. Who reported this? Please tell me they're like, it was Butt Crack or Sack Sports or
no, it was
some sort of
on the Athletic.
Genital sports page. Athletic?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Who was it? I'm not going to call into question their credibility. I'm just praying that they're not credible.
Kelly Iko, he's a Houston reporter.
Okay, yeah, I don't know. Eric, if this is true, do you have second thoughts about their love for Anthony Simons?
I don't know.
And their willingness to move him.
So, okay. Let me just ask for the people who are saying smoke screen. Why would the Blazers need to do a smoke screen for who they want to trade up for 3 to get?
Especially when it's a second name. It just doesn't... My reaction is obviously
because
to the thought of that being true, okay? It might not be true. My reaction is just I'm blown away.
See, the thing that jumped out at me is you would think any of those teams, if they're moving up for Klingon, you would think they would be happy with Sarr. Maybe not, but one of Klingon, Sarr, and Ricochet is going to be on the board. I think Ricochet fits pretty much all the lottery teams. Fits somehow, right?
Eric. Klingon 1, Ricochet 2. We trade up to 3 by trading Jeremy Grant and 7 on draft night with Sarr on the board. And with the 3rd pick in the 2024 NBA draft, the Portland Trail Blazers select Reed Sheppard, guard out of Kentucky.
Yeah.
Eric passes out of anger.
Yeah. I mean, who knows? The person could have just worded it wrong, or as Trevin points out, he said that all 3 teams have high grades on both.
I'm
which could be true.
I'm not straight up buying it. Okay, for anybody confused, you're so mad. It's funny.
Yeah, we're laughing. I just think it's
I
just
laugh in
hilarious
weird
to
ways.
think about them trading up to 3. Sarr or Klingon is on the board, and we take or Ricochet's on the board, and we take Reed Sheppard.
I'd rather trade up for Klingon.
I'd rather trade up for Ricochet.
I mean, I'd rather, dude. I mean, it's funny because I've been the guy that's low on Ricochet all year. I'd rather trade up for Ricochet than both those options. If we trade up for Ricochet, that is not anywhere close to the worst case scenario for this draft, in my opinion. Yeah. And I'm the guy who's low on him, so
at least he's fills something we need. He's a shooter and plays defense.
Yeah.
I know Reed Sheppard is the same as a shooter and plays defense, but
just
we need
9
someone
inches
like Ricochet's
shorter
size, not.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I mean, my goodness. Anyway, I see. We didn't even change it right now. I see why you saved that name because I was like, he's not gonna say Sarr because that would be. He would have just told me before because that reaction would just be okay, cool, yeah, hell yeah. No, I knew it was gonna be something weird. I just didn't think it was gonna be something that weird.
I know. It was funny because we talked about at 14 drafting a guard if they were happen to slip.
Yeah, if Dillingham falls there. Oh my goodness, bro. This draft, I feel is I don't even want to say this because I feel like they've already failed their litmus test, Eric. But now they're in rebuild mode. Now Dame's gone, they're very clearly rebuilding. This draft completely shows their incompetency as an organization if they do something like that. This draft is going to be eye-opening for a lot of people, I think, if it goes bad. If it's trading up for Reed Sheppard.
Yeah.
Because what are you doing? Could you imagine Neil Olshey, if he was GM of this team with the way it's currently constructed, doing that, and how 100% of Blazer fans would destroy him for it?
Yeah. Yeah, Reed Sheppard could turn out to be the next Michael Jordan, and it wouldn't matter. He would never get to
Dude, you remember when like Anthony Simons broke out and people were saying like trade CJ, and I was saying watch, like one day it'll be trade Ant, because everybody loved Ant when he started breaking out. But I said watch, one day people are going to treat him like CJ. That day has come. Okay. And then next it's going to be Scoot. I mean, it's already happened with some people that just completely trash Scoot, even though he's a 19-year-old rookie. So what? And then I'm just trying to make sure we got the pecking order right here in terms of like the Blazer guards we're going to draft, get excited because they're young guards, and then someday hate on them and want to get rid of them for the next new guard. Okay, so it goes CJ, Simons, Scoot, Sharp is a 3 apparently because the Blazers want Reed Sheppard. I don't know if it's true or not. Okay, but Sharp's a 3. He's swole now, so he doesn't count. Okay, so then it's Scoot and then Reed Sheppard.
We don't trade Brogdon. And
yeah, Brogdon's just immune to it because he's over 30. Oh yeah, Dame was in there too. Yeah. So CJ, Dame, Ant, Scoot, Reed Sheppard. All Blazer guards, young Blazer guards we're going to draft and then turn on. Right?
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm kind of trolling. This is fun.
I do. See, I don't know. If they do draft a guard, I think Anthony Simons is likely going to be traded. But I think it could just be as simple as they're so focused on just taking who they think is the best player. And I mean, Cronin said this last draft. He said it at the exit interview. They aren't in a position to worry about that yet. They're just going to be in talent acquisition mode and take the best player and figure it out later, to get as much talent as possible, like Umar says in chat. So if they have like Klingon as their number one guy and Reed Sheppard too on their board, maybe it's just as simple as they're just going to take whoever is best
How the hell would I just question their ability to scout if Reed Sheppard is number 2 on their board.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know for sure if that's the case, because this article just said they are very high on both of all 3 of those teams' boards.
I just think part of the reason this is a litmus test is like last year it was like, okay, we take Scoot at 3. They botched.
Yeah, there wasn't really a question.
They botched 23. In my opinion, completely botched it. Made no sense. Knowing the route that they inevitably were going to take, Chris Murray was a bad pick at 23.
Yeah.
This year, the pick's not so obvious. What to do is not so obvious. The number 1 pick isn't even obvious. None of this is obvious. This is a test regarding their ability to scout, identify the right player, draft them. Now, they might do something that I hate, and then Reed Sheppard might be the next Steph Curry and wins us a championship one day. You know what I mean? Could always be completely wrong, but on draft night, I have a feeling we're going to have strong reactions one way or the other. Or we just stay at 7 and take Ron Holland. We're like, oh, okay, cool. Awesome. I don't know. This draft is wild. I'm so excited for it.
Yeah, and we're less than 6 days away. Eric, it's going to be fun.
Is it at the point where it's like they've done so many things we disagree with that if they did something like that, it wouldn't even make you that mad? Because I'm kind of at that point right now.
Yeah, pretty much. But it's like last year, they draft Scoot, and same thing happened 2 years ago. They draft Sharp, and we can't even get excited about the pick because we're sitting there like, okay, what does this mean? Like, what are they going to do? Do they have a deal they're still working on for Scoot and Sharp? Or are they going to keep them? And then you hear word that they're going to keep them. And then you're like, okay, so what is your plan? So if they do take a guard with one of their 2 picks, and not a guard that can play small forward, like, Connect is, I don't know, like, I'm not fully on board that, but like I understand he can play multiple positions.
If you're going to get a shooter, at least have him be able to play the 3.
Right. So I think connect at the 3 works better than trying to figure out how Shepard's going to play with Scoot and Anthony Simons. So that's fine. It wouldn't surprise me if they did this, because we've been waiting to figure out what their plan is for a long time now, and it doesn't seem to ever materialize. So I think this would just be another one of those, like, I have no idea what this front office is doing. Here's more proof. Like, we already have all the proof we need, but here's more.
You know how I always predict, like, the worst things? Do you want to hear my new prediction?
Uh-oh. Is this a joke, or are you, like partially serious?
I wish it was a joke.
All right.
Chat, do you want my latest prediction? Now let chat decide, because I'm sure some of chat might be scared given the history of my predictions.
One Piece says for this draft, it's a win if they just stay at 7 and draft a forward. That's how low my bar is.
Yeah, they have like realistically 5 forwards to choose from. Yeah, they have all these forwards, and we're like cool with any of them. Just stay at 7. And you want to trade up for Klingon and Reed Shepard?
Yeah, it's like Cody Williams and Salon and who else is another forward that's on the Holland or something? Buzelis, they're all on the board, and we're just like, please don't take a guard, please don't take a guard.
I'm even okay with the 23-year-old shooter, that because he can play a little bit of small forward. I mean, that's where we're at right now. So, latest prediction, Eric. I asked chat, but I really don't care if they said no, because I'm gonna give it anyway. It's what I do. Okay. We're trading up to draft Reed Shepard, and then at 14, we're taking Zach Giddey. Are you crying?
Yeah. Tears of joy.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure. We
got the best 2 players in the draft.
We got somebody who's going to be the best shooter in the league one day, and we got somebody who's the biggest dude in the league already.
Is he?
He's thicker than Wemby. And just as tall. You know? We need somebody that can keep up with Wemby, Eric.
Keep up, or just like match his size?
It's something like that, you know? So could you imagine that press conference? He says that. He would never say that.
Someone in chat was saying that one local Blazer media was saying on the radio today that they've already penciled in Zach Giddey as our pick at 14.
Eric, if he's on the board, I 1,000% expect Portland to take him.
Yeah.
The only way Zach Giddey doesn't end up in Portland is if he's off the board before 14. But the problem is the Blazers have a pick before 14, and if they don't trade up, I wouldn't be shocked if they took friggin' Zach Giddey at 7 at this point. That's my other prediction. That's
and
my
then Philip, prediction. We had that one hypothetical, that horrible, like the worst question ever. Who would you want if we had to choose between Zach Giddey and Kyle Filipowski? We're going to take both.
Why do we have to choose?
7 and 14. There we go. We're back. We've gone full circle to the very beginning of this whole process when we said we were going to draft Kyle Filipowski and Zach Giddey and be super mad on stream.
I would laugh. You know what? People that like Cronin would love like Giddey at 7 and Filipowski at 14.
Ah.
2-time defending player of the year? You don't want somebody that's 7'4"? After how undersized we've been? Like, literally, that I see it now. Dude, Eric, I'm back, okay? I kind of stopped thinking about, the dumb stuff Cronin could do and how it might be justified. But in this stream, I have made my return. I am back, okay? I am in full form, ready for the draft. Let's get it. Carter Dick said with a $2 donation says, "I'd donate $100 to get you guys to stop right now. $100 and we'll move on." Bet. Agree.
Oh, I think this would be a good place to put today's Bleacher Report trade for Anthony Simons.
Oh yeah. So, chat. I don't even think our chat's gonna like this trade. Keep in mind, if you don't think it's good enough, throw in Jet Howard. Okay, we already know where Ant's getting traded because there's one clear destination for him, I think, and that is Orlando. Okay.
So, yeah, I have the trade here that they suggested if you want it.
Oh, I thought you said my trade.
Oh, no.
This is my trade. Okay, now share your trade. This is my trade, which is better than your trade.
Yeah, we've talked about that several times. So Bleacher Report, separate from the stream that Tori went on earlier, or had earlier, they suggested Anthony Simons to the Magic. The Blazers received Cole Anthony, the number 18 pick, and the most favorable 2025 first-round pick between Denver and Orlando, which would then be somewhere in the 20s.
I mean, yeah, it's not good. It's not good. It's not good. I've seen worse Ant trades, Eric.
I'd rather just not, like, if we're going to get that little for him, I'd rather just not take back anyone.
Yeah, like maybe instead of trading up for a guard, like we could keep Ant and then we could draft a forward. And maybe that could like fit positionally somehow, like, And then maybe you trade Brogdon and then you trade Grant. Got room for your three guards. You got, you can play Sharp at some three because he's getting swole, and then you got a forward like maybe that could play the 3 or the 4, and like Matas Buzelis, and then you draft Salon at 14 if you get lucky, and you don't have to play him right away, and cool. And then you duck the tax somehow. I don't know. Doesn't that sound so much more sound than like trading up for a guard and then taking Zach Giddey at 14? Edie, okay, Reed Shepherd and Edie screams to me, Eric, like they want to win next year.
Yeah.
Like they want to be a playing team.
Connect kind of does that too.
Yeah, but at least Connect you can justify it with like he has upside still at 23. Like I think he can be a 20-point per game scorer someday. Like optimistically, I think he has a chance to be a 20-point per game guy.
The thing is, like, you don't just need length at the center position. Like, we've needed it at the wing positions, and so just getting a bigger center. I mean, we already had a pretty big center, 8 and 7-1 or something like that. So like, it's not like he's small for a center or something. We're already fine at center. Like,
also, Eric, guess what? Being 7'4" does not matter when you're defending a pick and roll, and you get blown by, and you're at the free throw line when they're laying it in.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you're like Wemby, and you're defending a pick and roll, and you're as quick as the other guard, so you can be at the rim and don't get blown by, then it's great that you're 7'4".
Or you don't even need to move. Maybe that's what they're thinking with Edie. He could just stand at the free throw line and still block shots.
Are they taking out defensive 3 seconds? Is that something I'm missing? Like,
I don't know.
Listen. If they took out defensive 3 seconds, Edie would rise up like 5 to 7 spots on my board. Because at least you can just park him at the rim and then, I don't know, run a zone. Is that our plan? But knowing us, we put Edie at the top of the zone.
Just put him like we did with Grant.
Length out there, because we love having length at the top of the zone. And then the guy playing the center spot when he rotates out to a block. We love having a 6'2" guard that has to fill his spot and shift into the paint. So anyway, draft intel, Eric. That was the most fun 30 minutes I've had in quite a long time. I enjoyed that. Hopefully chat enjoyed that in a sadistic way.
I was reading something about the Olympics coming up, and they were talking about, you're talking about defense, made me think of this. Wemby and Gobert on the France team with no defensive 3 seconds in the Olympics. Just
and can you still hit the ball out of the rim once it hits the rim?
Yeah, you can do that too.
GG's. We're no longer the best basketball country.
Yeah, so they're going to start those two guys next to each other and just play a zone and have those guys man in the paint. That's going to be really tough to score inside.
Yeah. Impossible. How? How do you score inside against that?
I don't know.
Latest draft intel.
Well, before we do that, there was one other Bleacher Report trade that I kind of like. Mm-hmm. I don't know how realistic this is because I don't know if Robert Williams has this kind of value. But it was Robert Williams going to the Thunder along with the 40th pick for a 2025 first-round pick, which would be the second most favorable between 6 teams. Houston, Clippers, Miami, Oklahoma City, or Philadelphia.
Yeah, that one's interesting because that pick could be decent.
Yeah, a pick could be decent, and you clear plenty of salary to get below the tax line. So I really like that trade a lot, but probably not realistic. It's probably a little too much value than what we'd get for Robert Williams.
True. Taylor wanted to pull on who people want at 7, so I made a realistic poll based on the guys we're considering.
Who is Zyle Eliakowski? No.
There you go. Anyway. Give me more 2025 first, though.
Yeah, for sure.
That draft is loaded. 2026 looks good.
All right, so Jake L. Fisher had a big draft note today. It's that Alexander Sarr's camp isn't particularly thrilled about his fit in Atlanta, primarily because he wants to be a power forward, not a center, and wants to have a big offensive role on whatever team he goes to.
So he's LaMarcus Aldridge 2.0.
Or Anthony Davis.
Or Anthony Davis 2.0. I'll take Anthony Davis 2.0, though, for real.
I mean, I take Aldridge 2.0 right now.
Yeah. That could cause him to fall to 3. Could he fall past 3?
I don't know, man.
Unless he's Reed Shepherd. We just needed to stay in the top 4 to get Sarr.
Oh, man.
Listen, if he wants to play the power forward, okay, cool. We'll keep freaking DeAndre Ayton and he can start at the 4 and we'll trade Jeremy or move him to the 3. I don't know. Give me Sarr. The fact that he might fall and we could potentially trade up, but we don't have reported interest in him is a little spooky to me. Now, not putting full stock in the report that you shared earlier, okay? I just want to reiterate that because I can see the comments already after this. You guys got so mad about a report that's not even real, blah, blah, blah. Sarr is the guy. 1,000%. Sarr's the guy. Eric?
Yeah, I have to say this because I wasn't particularly ecstatic about Castle's camp's comments leading up to the combine about wanting to be a lead guard and not wanting to work out for teams that wanted to be a lead guard. So I don't like this attitude either. I mean, I get if there's a reason you don't want to be in Atlanta, but I don't like unless you know for sure they're trading Trae Young. I can't think of if you're an athletic big a better. I mean, Trae Young is. I don't even think it's close. Maybe Luka is joining that realm, but Trae Young is the best, if not second best, lob passer in the league, and so I think Alex Sarr would be really good. Like I think he
Yeah.
would get a lot of opportunities.
For some
So
reason,
maybe
he
they
was
think
like,
they're gonna.
for some reason, he was like 13th percentile pick and roll guy last season.
Yeah.
Don't know why.
Um,
If he can't get a dunk, that's the one thing with him is like his finishing is really rough, and he can get pushed around a little bit, like pushed off his spot for a lob pass.
yeah.
But it's Trae Young, and he's athletic.
But
so
if Trae Young's putting it in the right
probably
spot, I
figure
mean,
it out. Yeah.
how much of that was the guards on the team he was on, and also, I mean, he didn't play like huge minutes, so like it's still relatively small sample size.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just some. Yeah, this doesn't prevent me from wanting Sarr, obviously, over any of these guards we're talking about. Like I think it works still if he wants to play power forward, especially if we're keeping Ayton. So, but I don't know. I don't think anyone in this draft has the right to make demands or like do anything. I think this particular draft, most of these players should just be happy if they're one of the top picks, and you know, that's a pretty sizable contract as it raises each year comes along with that. So I don't know. I question some of the competitiveness of someone who is trying to find like a perfect situation and doesn't want to be like the number one pick. Because if I want a guy who's like, I don't care what team it is, I'm going to go there and improve them and make them better. Not, I don't know what my role will be offensively. I might want to go to a different team.
I'm not going to knock a player for not being like my 100% preferred attitude in a guy, though, you know? Like,
Yeah.
he has his preference. He wants to be a 4. Like, I still think he's a competitor. Yeah. It's kind of the same thing I had with Castle. You know, we argued on Castle. It's kind of the same argument. We don't have to have it again, but not going to hold it against him. He's still the most talented player in this class, highest upside player in this class. Ultimately, like, if he bulks up, I kind of think he might be better suited for a power forward spot starting off anyway, because he's a little skinny and he can truly move and switch out on the perimeter. And he needs to go somewhere that allows him to tap into his potential as a shooter, as a ball handler, that sort of thing. And it's going to look ugly, but in the long run, it could pay off. And I think that's the situation that he wants, which I fully understand. So, you know, he wants to be a max player by the time his second contract rolls around, probably. He wants to be the best version of himself. I think if he's you know, allowed to play the 4 and not just shoehorned into a center role, like big man role, I think that's maybe where it comes from.
Yeah, but so why can't he play power forward and have a big offensive role in Atlanta?
Or center, you mean?
No, if he wants to be power forward, why can't he do that in Atlanta?
Because they need a center. Because they would probably play him at center. I mean, they got Jalen Johnson at the 4. I think Jalen Johnson can play some 3, but I think Jalen Johnson is better as a 4.
Yeah, I don't know. His game's more like small forward game. I don't know.
I think his skills are more special at a power forward spot. And he's big enough to defend that spot and then switch down. So I just think it works better there. That's just my opinion. Other intel.
But all of a sudden, if you have a 6'11" power forward on the Blazers, that's better than having a 7'4" center.
Yeah. Well, I think Sarr's like what 6'11" 3/4, so basically 7 foot power forward. Give me a 7 foot power forward.
Yeah. Nice.
People say you don't like Filipowski though. He's 6'10" with like a negative wingspan. No, thank you. His wingspan's like half an inch longer. I don't know. He does not have long arms. I do not like Filipowski. It's funny. Like, the bigs in this class are so polarizing, I feel like. Zach Edey, Donovan Clingan, Alex Sarr. But even when, like, you look at Khalil Ware, and then you got some, like, power forward types. Tyler Smith, I don't like. Kyle Filipowski, I don't like. Haven't even said Yves Missy's name. It's a very interesting crop of big men this year. It's going to be very interesting to see where they all go and what situations they end up in.
Yeah.
Anyway, other intel, Eric.
We pretty much talked about everything that I can remember. I don't know if you had anything else. Taylor Packer says is Klingon polarizing. I think he's just kind of a boring safe pick. I think that's part of it. And
he's polarizing because he's a boring safe pick, so he might go number one, and a bunch of teams want to trade up for him.
Yeah, I think that's where it becomes polarizing. If you stay where you're at and take a boring safe pick, it's not that bad, I guess. But if you're giving up trade assets to move up to get a boring safe pick, it's like, well, why? Why do we have to be boring and safe right now? Why don't we just stay at 7 and be risky and swing for the fences versus that, you know?
100%. I'm going to go look at Evan Sidery's Twitter, see if there's any rumors we missed. Suns are interested in Yves Missy. I mean, basically, we get a report like they're interested in any player that makes sense for them. Tyler Kolek, yeah. Yves Missy.
Point guard or center. Best one on the board, just take him.
Yep. A lot of stuff about the Bulls trade on his Twitter. Oh. Shams said the Sixers are not pursuing Paul George. It's not draft intel, Eric, but that was shocking to me. There's been a lot of stuff that has started to play out like our mock offseason. That was one of the things. The Sixers in our mock offseason did not go after Paul George. I forget what the other
Well, I
things
think
were.
they did, but he re-signed for 5 years.
Oh, he told me he was not going after Paul George, so tampering. Shh. I didn't tell you. But Paul George, Sixers don't want to go after him. What's their plan then? Why would they not go after Paul George, Eric?
Oh, because they're going to bring James Harden back. I heard that.
Like, the only way they don't go after Paul George is if they're going after someone else. I don't think that someone else is James Harden. Who is that someone else?
Sam S. and Chess is Brandon Ingram, maybe?
Ew! Ew.
This could be like, I don't know, you get rejected by a girl and then you go on later and say, she was mid anyway, you know, like it's possible they've already kind of gauged interest.
I mean, Embiid and PG were on the finals broadcast together, so maybe.
Yeah, I know. So maybe PG had said like Embiid was trying to recruit him, and Paul George said he was staying in LA or something and was gonna sign a long-term contract or something, and so now they're just like, all right, so we're moving on from Paul George because they know he's about to re-sign. That might be the next news we hear, right?
Yeah, that would be pretty.
But
I mean, none of the other names other than Jimmy Butler do anything for me. Zach LaVine, ew. Klay Thompson, ew. Malcolm Brogdon, that's their prize. I mean, I would like it for the Blazers, but really? It doesn't even make sense, like, going the cap space route, then. You might as well just bring back, like, Buddy Hield and...
What if we gave them Brogdon and Grant And we got like all their picks they got in the Clippers trade.
Oh, okay, what? All the... No way we get the Clippers unprotected picks. What?
The 2028 Clippers pick? Yeah, let's go.
I would be shockingly surprised.
Yeah.
But Grant and Brogdon. In the end, we saved $50 million. Like, see, easy to tuck the tax.
Cronin knows what he's doing, idiot. Now we're below the salary floor.
That's so funny. What the hell, man? The thing is, that trade could happen tomorrow. If that's what they wanted to do. Like, it would have to get pushed through after the moratorium, but we're at the point, Eric, a trade could happen any day now. For the
yeah, because 16, they have the 16th pick, so you would think that would be involved. Maybe that's, as Chris mentioned in chat, maybe we're going to use 16 and 14 to move up, so we for sure get Giddey.
Or 16 and 7 to move up, so we for sure get Reed Shepherd.
And then we still get Giddey at 14.
Eric, there is a greater than 50% chance that one of Donovan Clingan or Zach Giddey is a Blazer in a week. Do you agree?
I don't think it's 50%.
I feel like it's a greater than 50% chance.
Because
Clip
I think
this. Remind me in a week.
If the Grizzlies don't move up, they have rumored to really be enamored with Giddey as well if they don't get Clingan. So I could see them taking Giddey at 9.
I'm going to start convincing myself that Zach Giddey is worth 14. Okay. You ready for the mental gymnastics? I'm going to go full Simone Biles with the gymnastics here, okay? Eric, he has good touch. He can be a floor spacing 7'4". He's not a unicorn. Like, he's a hybrid between a unicorn and an alien. Okay, Wemby is the real alien. He's a hybrid. He's gonna knock down threes, and then he's going to attack closeouts. and he can actually move his feet. Just look at his combine scores. They were better than Clingan's. So he's going to trap. He's going to hedge. He can take 2 steps in half a second and cover 20 feet of ground.
And how's anyone going to block his shot?
Exactly. So he's going to average 30 a game, and he's going to be the Wemby stopper, and we're going to look like idiots. Okay?
Sweet.
There would be like 5% to be like, man, maybe he actually is just gonna somehow be really good. I don't know. Is there like a 5% part of you that's like maybe he could actually be worth 14?
Is he worth a 14th pick just in a vacuum? Yeah, I could see some value there. Sure. For the Blazers, though, I don't know.
Can play the 4.
Yeah, or Aiden can play the 4, sure.
Although, if we also trade up for Clingan, then Aiden's going to have to play the 3.
If Zach Giddey drafted at 14 leads to them moving on from Ayton, then maybe that changes the dynamic a little bit. I still question a guy that size that isn't as mobile as Wemby, how much he can play minutes-wise over the course of an NBA season. So if you have him and another center about his level that each of them can play, mid-20s and minutes, then maybe I could see it work. But you're not going to play Ayton 24 minutes a game, so you can play Edey 24 minutes a game. So I don't think Ayton's the right guy for that scenario. So yeah, I don't know. I can maybe see it work if you're on the right team where his role isn't taxing on his body. It's never been done where a guy that size has held up for like a long-term situation. So we'll see.
Yeah, he does give you a unique advantage. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't like the pick at 14, but I understand it more than trading up for Reed Shepherd or Donovan Clingan.
Yeah.
You know, so here's my question. Which of those two things would you rather do? Trade 17 and 14 to move up for Clingan, or
7 and 14?
Draft Zach... Yeah, 7 and 14. Or draft Zach Giddey at 14.
So I'm assuming you drafted like Connect or someone at 7.
Yeah, like let's just say they drafted Connect, because I know that's kind of like in the middle for people.
Yeah. Yeah, I would rather. And as much as I don't like Edey as a prospect, I still think taking 2 players in this particular draft, no matter where you have them rated, is better than moving all your chips in for 1. So I'm going to take Edey at 14 and Connect at 7.
Alrighty. I agree. I just wanted to see how skewed this would be. Chat, 75% say Edey at 14, 25% would rather trade up. Alright. Time to do a little bit of a mock draft. But I don't want to do it like we normally do. I want to do predictions, Eric. I want to like come up, me and you and chat, come up with predictions for the lottery. Trades, picks, predictions as of right now, everything that we know, all of it. Okay? So let me set this up real quick. And this is going to be the final thing for stream. And then maybe we'll have time for some good old life advice if you need it, want it. Might as well put this over the ticker since the ticker doesn't work anymore because the season is over. Alright, Eric. Number 1, Hawks, what do you think happens as of now? What are the options? Because I'll do a chat poll, okay?
I think
we'll do Sar, Ricochet, Clingan,
and then trade down a few spots. Yeah.
Okay. Draft Sar, draft Clingan, draft Ricochet, and trade down. Or let's just say trade the pick. And then, so there's chat, there's me, there's you. With this mock draft, we're going to do, if 2 of us agree, then that's going to be the choice.
For the record, Ricochet right now is the betting favorite for number 1.
Yeah. Oh, whoops, I accidentally am sharing my YouTube screen. Let me put this on a different tab. Sharing my DMs. That's good.
Someone screenshot that.
There's our group chat. Okay, hold on. Normally I do it on a Chrome tab, but it's been a minute. Look at Tori leaking his own DMs like a bozo. Or maybe I don't even need to be on Twitter. Okay.
I think the reason Ricochet is mock number 1, or is the betting favorite for number 1, is because a lot of people think Atlanta's going to trade down a few spots, and the team, whether that's the Spurs or someone else, would take Ricochet. So I'm going to say they trade it, and
I gotta copy this link and put it in Google Chrome so I can check chat poll. All right, give me a second. You think trade? Who do you think to? Like, what's your prediction?
Well, I think the Spurs are going to find a way to get up to number one. But I don't know if Atlanta would have four, so I don't know if Houston's involved too. Like a 3-team trade, but yeah, I don't know.
I think
We can just say 3, I guess, for the sake of this.
you think 3. What do you mean 3?
Like 1 to 3. I don't know.
I think they draft Klingon.
All right.
This is tough. We all disagree. Chat is saying Ricochet. Do you think they trade with San Antonio?
Let's just have him take Ricochet then. Because I think whoever trades up to 1 would take Ricochet.
Got you. Ricochet 1. Okay, Wizards at 2. Wizards at 2. Let me make a new chat poll. They changed the look of the chat polls. I don't really like it. What do the Wizards do at 2? Okay, draft Sar. Draft Klingon. Trade the pick. And then what? Should they have another draft option? Or
Let's draft someone else, I guess.
oh, draft Reed Shepherd. My gut feeling here is they just go with Sar.
Yeah, I agree.
Chat, it looks like, agrees as well. Okay. So, chat and us. Sar at 2. Here's where things get real juicy, Eric. Houston at 3. What do the Rockets do at number 3? Okay. Sorry, go ahead.
I'll wait for you to do the poll.
Draft Shepherd. Draft. Who's like the next name? Castle?
Yeah, Castle. Or
Draft
Klingon.
Castle. I got Klingon, Shepherd, Castle. Trade the pick.
Yeah.
What do you think honestly happens here, Eric? I think they trade the pick.
I think they trade too, but I also think they probably like Shepherd. But with that report of the Grizzlies, Hornets, and Blazers all interested in this pick, and both players that all 3 teams are interested in, according to the article, I think they could have a bidding war. All 3 teams calling them right now on the clock. I think they could get some pretty good value. So I think there is a trade between Houston and Memphis revolving around Marcus Smart.
So let me do this poll first. Hold on. Who do the Rockets trade down with? Okay. 2-6 with Charlotte. 2-7 with Portland. Actually make your prediction, okay? Don't just vote Portland because it's Portland. 9 with Memphis. Is there another team that could maybe trade up here? OKC?
I don't know.
Or
Detroit.
Or is there a player for McHale with Brooklyn?
Yeah, sure.
All right, your prediction, go. Chat, vote.
So, always compete. You must not have seen that they already traded Josh Giddey.
It's OKC shopping Giddey. Yeah, they shopped him very successfully. Okay, they shopped him very successfully. I guess the thing is blocking the rundown. I was gonna say look at the rundown, but we got this mock draft up. So you know. So your prediction is to 9 with Memphis for Marcus Smart. Marcus Smart and 9, is that?
Yeah, and then what, Tate and whoever going back.
That is also my prediction, and that is also Chat's prediction.
Hey, good job, Chat.
All right, Marcus Smart, filler salary back. So
Memphis 6 Klingon.
yeah, we already know who Memphis is trading up for. It's been Memphis and Klingon this whole freaking time.
King Sam says McHale makes the most sense because then Brooklyn can do a real rebuild.
I agree.
Exactly, King Sam, yes.
But Brooklyn apparently doesn't want to do that because they're stupid and directionless. Yes. So
they could probably get 3 and at least 1 or 2 of their picks back, future picks too. So I would definitely do that if I was Brooklyn. But yeah.
All right, what does San Antonio do at number 4? Draft Castle, draft... Who's like the next most likely pick for them?
Shepherd,
draft...
Dillingham, I guess. I don't know.
Dillingham... Or I could do draft someone else or trade the pick.
Trade for Darius Garland.
But draft someone else would have to be like overwhelming favorite.
Yeah.
All right, Eric. My prediction is. All right, what's your prediction?
I'm the same way with you. I am absolutely torn between Castle and Shepherd for them. I think they both make sense for respective reasons. If this report is correct that numerous teams are very high on Reed Shepherd, I could definitely see them taking him, but they've also not been afraid to do their own thing as well. So I'm going to say Castle.
I also think they go Castle. I just think he makes so much sense defensively. He could maybe be their point guard long term, but also they could take a point guard at 8 and he could fit off of them defensively. Having him at the point of attack with one behind him is a scary thing. I like Castle much better than Shepherd as the pick for them. That is also my prediction. Okay, 5, Detroit. Do I even need to do a poll for this, Eric?
No, I don't think so. Oh, wait, what?
What? What?
Did you have him draft already?
No, I just put Castle 4 to San Antonio.
I
accidentally put Buzelis. Whoops.
Yeah,
I thought Castle was the second one down. Okay, there we go. All right, 5. Chat, we all agree it's Reed Shepherd at 5 for Detroit, right? They need shooting. Well, they got a big point guard that can guard 2s.
You said that as I saw you click on Buzelis' name, and I was like, wait, we're not all in agreement they're taking Buzelis here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what, Portland is offering 7 and 14 to Detroit for 5? I think Detroit just takes Reed Shepherd and is very happy about it. Right?
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. 6, Charlotte. What does Charlotte do? Give me the... Do you think there's any chance they trade this pick? I feel like there's no chance they trade this pick. I feel like we should just put 4 players to draft, Eric.
Yeah.
Who do the Hornets draft at 6?
I think we might only need to do 2. Or I guess Holland would be... Yeah, I can't see down the... Is this their rankings?
I'm not sure. I mean, you should know who's on the board. We've drafted.
No, I know. I'm just
the consensus. We've drafted the consensus top 5 right now.
Yeah.
That is the consensus top 5. Ron Holland, Matas Buzelis,
Connect.
Dalton Connect.
Cody Williams, maybe?
Yeah, I could do someone else. Do you think Holland, Buzelis, and Connect are the top 3 here?
Yeah, probably.
Okay, I'll do someone else. What's your prediction, Eric?
I kind of like Connect for them, but I don't think they'll take him. So I'm gonna say, let's just say they take Matas.
You think they take Matas here?
I'm gonna say Matas, yeah.
I think they take. I think they take Ron Holland.
Yeah.
And chat says Connect. Are either of us swayed to...
I mean, I'm not completely sold on my pick, so I could be swayed.
So with Holland or Connect, who do you think they're more likely to take out of the two?
I think their need for shooting, and also they've been I don't know what the right word is, but they've taken guys like Book Knight that haven't panned out. I think taking I don't know, Buzelis, Connect. None of these guys really have character concerns. But I think maybe they'd lean towards being a little safer. So Connect fits a need and also is probably the safest pick outside of Klingon in this draft. So
yeah, I mean, Buzelis is pretty close to Connect, so I'm tempted to just go Buzelis here for purposes of this mock.
All right.
Also, because I think this is interesting. Chat. I don't think Blazers are trading this pick if they don't trade up, which they haven't, right? So it's going to be 4 players. Okay. Who do the Blazers draft at 7? I think the most likely, the players left on the board, are Ron Holland. This isn't in any particular order. Dalton Connect. Who else was there? Let me go back to the big board because I'm forgetting.
Cody Williams to John
Salon and Cody Williams, yeah.
No Zach Giddey?
Not at 7. I don't think they're that good. All right, chat. There's your poll.
Yeah, I think that's the right 4.
All right, Eric, what's your prediction?
All right, so
chat is rooting for John Salon.
Obviously, I would want them to take John Salon here. That would be my pick if I was sitting here right now with this board, but I think they go Connect.
I also think they go Connect. Chat, you don't think they go Connect, huh? Javon says, I sense bias in this poll. I also sense bias because, I understand wanting Salon. There hasn't been anything that's really suggested Salon.
Mm-hmm. And for the record, people, this is predicting not who you would take at 7. Otherwise, this would have turned out completely different. But
yeah, 100%. All right, yeah. Salon is 7 to Portland.
Salon?
Or not Salon. Freaking 23-year-old Connect. All right, they want to win now. Okay. San Antonio's at 8.
They took Castle.
Yep. They could go any direction. I don't think they... maybe they could trade the pick.
Wow, 16, only 16% took.
Yeah. Do the Spurs trade or use this pick? Trade, use. We'll do it like this so we can have 4 options if they use it. Okay. Do you think the Spurs trade or use this pick, Eric?
I think they use it.
My gut says they trade it. I don't know why, but my gut says they trade it. I don't know what they'd trade it for, though. So, I'll roll with you in chat. Use. All right. 4 prospects on the board. Topic. This is the first time we've seen Topic. Topic, although, is he top 4 most likely if they took Castle? Topic is falling, man.
I would say it's Dillingham, Salon, Holland, and Cody Williams, right?
Rob Dillingham, T. John Salon, Cody Williams, or who?
Ron Holland.
Oh, yeah. Ron Holland. I can't believe we've never done a mock draft like this before. This is a cool way to do it. All right. I said at 7. I meant at 8. Okay. Ignore the poll being wrong. Who do the Spurs draft at 8?
I think they take Salon.
You know what? I think they take Devin Carter.
Yeah, he's been linked to them. They do get Castle.
I think they try and build a defense that breaks the NBA, basically.
Well, wouldn't they take Holland?
I mean, I think Devin Carter is better defensively than Ron Holland.
Okay.
And he can shoot. Shooting's a... I just gut feeling says Devin Carter. We can look back on this in a week. Chat says Salon, so we'll go Salon at 8 to San Antonio. Now, you got Houston at 9 after they trade down. Do we just do 4 draft options, or do we do another trade option?
We can do options.
Okay, I'll do a poll. Do you think
Trade
they
with Blazers?
I mean, if they got Marcus Smart, then there's no... I don't see them trading for Brogdon.
Yeah.
So I think they use it. Chat thinks they use it. All right. Who are the names for them? Cody Williams, Ron Holland. Who do the Rockets draft at 9? Ron Holland, Rob Dillingham.
Aeromancer's not paying attention.
Aeromancer, pay attention. Ron Holland, Rob Dillingham, Cody Williams, and who else? Nikola Topic?
Sure. Tim Carter, $5 donation. Thank you so much, Tim. There's the first super chat. Are there more shorter players in the draft? This poll got in the way. Because of the current NBA style of play, or are there just people shorter because of fluoridated water? LOL. Well, a lot of the reason why measurements are shorter this year is because this is the first official year where it is only measurements taken without shoes. So in the past, a lot of the players have been similar sized, but for some reason people always used measurements with shoes, I guess because You play basketball with shoes on. But that leads to a lot of ways you can do this. Like, I have been to Disneyland a couple of times for my younger kids. And my now 11-year-old was like 2.5 at the first time we took him. Same with my 7-year-old. It was about 2.5 the first time we took her. And they were both really tall for their age, really close to that 40-inch mark to ride pretty much all the rides except for a couple of big ones. And we put inserts in their shoes to make sure they stood up a little taller and were able to ride rides with us. So that type of stuff happened all the time with these prospects. So it never really made sense to see someone that measured 6'5" but was 6'7" with shoes on. So it's just the NBA correcting everything to a smaller without shoe size.
Yeah, who do you think the Rockets drafted 9? Thank you for the donation, Tim. Appreciate it.
Jeez.
I think they go Topic. Like, they can give him some time. He needs to recover from this injury. They have a lot of guards, but he's more like a long-term upside play.
Yeah. For those exact reasons, I'm going to say Dillingham.
Chat right now, 30% Topic.
All right. Topic it is.
Topic made a little comeback there. All right, Topic at 9, 10, Utah. They keep this pick, right?
Yeah.
Or do they trade it for Brandon Ingram? Jazz. Draft. Use. We'll do a quick little chat poll. And then the 3 names from before, and who do you want to replace with Topic? Replace Topic for? Chat says draft. Okay.
Either Zach Giddey or Devin Carter.
Yeah, I feel like we should do Devin Carter here. Does Utah draft at 10? Oh, whoops, I put Topic instead of Rob Dillingham. Alright. Chat, there's your poll. Eric, what do you think?
I think that maybe Ainge just sitting there thinking that Holland or Cody Williams could have like a Jaylen Brown type future. So I think he takes one of them. I could also see him, much like me, thinking that Dillingham has the best chance of being a star of the players left. But I think he takes one of Holland and Cody Williams. I'm going to say he takes Cody Williams.
All right, you make it. If you picked Holland, I was going to have to choose between the two because chat is going Cody Williams at 10. All right.
So who would you have?
I don't know. It's tough. All right, Chicago at 11. Trade, use. Eric, I think they trade.
They trade for what?
I think they either trade down or trade for someone. Because they want to compete.
Yeah. Trying to think who that would even be.
Brandon Ingram? DeJounte Murray?
Yeah.
I think they trade. I gut feeling they trade for someone. Chat says use. I say they trade for someone. What do you think?
I think they use it.
Alrighty.
Now who that's for?
Okay, we'll do the Bulls draft at 11. We're only doing this through 14, and then the stream ends. Ron Holland, Devin Carter. They need to replace Caruso, right?
Yeah.
Rob Dillingham and someone else. We'll do someone else as an option. Eric, who do they draft?
Oh man, I could see them taking McCain or Edie. I like Devin Carter for them.
Yeah. They replaced
do they
Javon
make smart
Carter with
decisions?
Devin Carter. What were you gonna say?
I'm starting to think though, but the Bulls are stupid, so they're just going to take Zach Edey. Maybe that's wishful thinking. Oh, I'll just stick to Carter.
I also think they go with Carter. And they have Kobe White, Dosunmu, Carter. Giddey plays the 3. Carter's not much of a playmaker, so like Giddey's kind of like the point guard. And they justify it. Alright, Devin Carter, 11 to Chicago. 12, OKC, use, right? I mean, it makes no sense for them to trade, so. What do the Thunder do at 12? Or no, who do they draft? Who do the Thunder draft at 12? Okay, we got Ron Holland still on the board. Rob Dillingham still on the board. Who's the next guy I should put?
I think Edie. But I'm not joking, I guess.
Edie.
Or
we'll do someone else.
De Silva? I don't know.
We'll do someone else.
All right. I think Presti just is the best player on the board guy. I think he just takes Holland.
Okay.
Or the 2-time National Player of the Year.
Chat says someone else. And in chat, they've said De Silva, they've said Holmes, they've said Walter. I have a feeling they're going De Silva.
Yeah. De Silva makes a lot of sense for them.
Yeah. And chat's saying De Silva too. All right. De Silva at 12.
Eric Olson says, is he drunk again? Are you talking about me or someone else? I'm not drunk.
Probably Arrow.
Oh, Arrowmancer, yeah.
The key. What do the Kings do at 13? Draft or trade? Eric, you know what's funny?
What?
This lines up perfectly.
For Zach Edey?
And Ron Holland. Or Rob Dillingham. Chat is divided. What do you think, Eric?
I do believe they're going to be shopping it right now. Maybe for Levine. I I'll just say for the sake of this that we use it though. But I think they're going to trade it.
I think they trade it for Levine.
Yeah.
You think they're going to trade it? You think they're going to trade it? I think they're going to trade it for Levine. And chat's very divided.
All right. Yeah, let's trade it.
We'll give them. Should we even give them other options? What do they trade it for? Because it's going to be it's Levine to Sacramento. What are the? Yeah, it's the Kings. So they trade it for Levine. They trade it for Jeremy Grant. Who are the other, potential trade targets?
Kuzma and Ingram were listed.
Kuzma, Ingram. Okay. I think they trade it for Levine.
Yeah.
All right. Chat, it looks like agrees.
I could see Washington sitting there, though, looking at Rob Dillingham on the board. They got Alex Sarr, right? They get Sarr in this?
Yeah.
We had him take Sarr at 2, right?
Yeah.
So they could come away with Sarr and Dillingham. I think they consider trading Kuzma in this scenario.
Kuzma in 26 for 13, or do you think just Kuzma straight up for 13?
It's like Kuzma for 13.
You know what? You've swayed me. I actually agree with that. I think if Sacramento really plays hardball, I think there's a chance that they would do Kuzma in 26 for 13.
Yeah.
I actually think Kuzma makes a lot of sense. All right.
Yeah.
We're doing Kuzma. So this pick traded. We're not going to 26 anyway, so it doesn't matter. To Washington. And it's to take Rob Dillingham, obviously, right? Or Jared McCain.
Yeah.
Nah, they're taking Rob, right?
I mean, I would.
Yeah, I would too. They're taking Rob.
Dude, I'll say this right now: the Wizards just won the draft. They just did better than my mock-off season. So,
but also, Eric, do you see where we're at?
I do.
Do you see who is on the board still?
Jared McCain.
That's not who I'm looking at. I'm looking at 1 7'3" big and 1 6'6" small forward.
Yep.
The question is, after taking Connect at 7, who do the Blazers draft at 14? This is a great way to end the stream. If they have Holland and Edey on the board at 14, who do they take? Do we even need to put in other names? I guess if they want a guard that can shoot, Jared McCain.
Carlton Carrington.
Zach Edey, Ron Holland, Jared McCain.
And please, chat, this is who we think Joe Cronin will take at 14, not who you would take in this situation.
Do you want to put, Khalil Ware?
Sure, although he's going to get a ton of votes just because people...
I mean, that's why we have 3 of us.
Yeah.
But vote who you think the Blazers will take, okay? No bias. No bias. I know it's a lot to ask, but no bias. What do you think the Blazers honestly do here?
I did take Zach Edey.
Now, factor in that they took Dalton Connect at 7.
Yeah.
I think Cronin would hate that Holland's still on the board. Man, I wanted him to be easy to draft Edey.
Yeah, that's the only thing that gives me pause. Is that...
Yeah, would Would they take Holland or Edey if they take
Would
Connect
they-
at 7?
Because we know Cronin has been worried about passing on or trading a pick because of potentially who that could become. And if you passed on Holland twice, only the Spurs can say that, right?
Yeah.
That they passed on him twice
But
at
they
this
passed
point.
him higher. Like, it made more sense.
Yeah.
Bro. A 5-man group at point guard, shooting guard, small forward of Scoot, Sharp, Simons, Connect, and Holland is kind of nice. You got your defender, like, athletic upside guy in Holland. You got your safe, like, older prospect shooter in Connect. Both can play the 3. Sharp can play some 3. Like, it is such a no-brainer to go Holland here, and just you're completely set at those positions. You can always move off a guy.
Yeah.
But
Eric Oslin says Zach Edey at 14 and Connect at 7. That's a good draft for our team if we want to stay mediocre forever. I know. Once again, Eric, this is not what we would do. We obviously would not want to take Edey here, but yeah.
You think they go Edey, huh?
Man, that's tough. I do think they believe they need more depth, more height at the center position. I think they're going to take Edey, yeah. Ugh.
I also think they take Edey. Chat was 42% Holland, 36% Edey. Trevin says, I feel like thinking the Blazers would take Edey is just negative bias. What do you mean? It's not bias at all. It's the type of thing they would do. And they also just took a wing.
He's saying because we think it's bad that we're choosing that because we're...
Have they even worked out Ron Holland?
No, not publicly.
Yeah, but there was a private list that got leaked.
Yeah.
There's like a full list that got leaked. He wasn't on there, so who knows? But
no, he was in that one with Salon and Ryan Dunn, wasn't he?
Would they really go Edey over Holland?
Yeah, he was in the Edey was at that workout too. I forgot who the other big at that workout was. That was like their mega workout.
Yeah. Let me text someone that's probably sleeping.
Oh.
This stream would have been done if Holland wasn't on the board anymore. If like
Holland
was 12.
Thank you, Taylor and Trevor. Missy was the other guy.
Yeah.
That would have been a fun workout.
Man.
But for some reason, they couldn't have interviews at that one. Keyshawn George was at that one too.
Yeah.
Oh man.
We'll see if I get a response. Because it is midnight. What a question to send at midnight. You can already guess who I texted. Don't guess out loud, but I think you know who I texted.
Yeah, I know.
For his input. Man, oh man. I guess we can take down this screen. What a stream, man. What a stream.
Wait, so who do we take?
We'll see if I get a text back in the next 2 minutes. Also, I legitimately am torn, Eric. Like, if we got Klingon at 7, I think we would easily take Holland at 14. But since we took Connect at 7, this draft is so fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is something I need to meditate on, okay? I need some sage. I need to just get in touch with my inner self right now.
Can you hurry up? I need to go to bed.
I know this team. All right, give me 10 seconds. Okay. I'm picturing Adam Silver walking to the podium.
Jared McCain.
Chris Murray 2.0 is the vibe that I'm getting. Portland Trail is like Zach. We're taking Edey, bro. We're taking Edey. God dang it. We're taking Edey. Chat, you know I can see the future. Okay? I've proven that. Zach Edey, 14. Portland Trailblazer. Hey, at least he's under 300 pounds. So maybe he can move. And then the Heat at 15. Where do you think Holland ends up? Like, do the Heat take him at 15?
Yeah. I think they do.
I feel like they may take McCain.
Yeah, maybe.
Worst case scenario for Holland. McCain at 15. He's basically like Cam Whitmore. Philly 16, like, probably, right?
Yeah. Come on.
I mean, but they're in win now mode. I think, yeah, probably Philly at 16 is his floor. I mean, we thought it was ludicrous that he might fall out, but we literally just predicted him to fall out, Eric.
Yeah.
Somebody in this draft is going to fall. It's going to be him or it's going to be Rob Dillingham. I think one of Ron Holland or Rob Dillingham is there at 14. Or Nikola Topic. One of those three. They're at 14. Is that a bold prediction or is that a very safe prediction?
I don't know if it's safe, but I think that's pretty logical.
This draft is so fascinating. I love it. I am so curious and so excited. We're going to have a draft day live stream. You don't want to miss it. I'm building graphics for that. Also, this weekend, I'm just going to grind content for the channel. I've been crazy busy with work. Unfortunately, I have not been able to do as much content this offseason as I would have liked to. The good news is there will be stuff in August. My goal is to do, I was going to do player reviews with the clips and all that. I still have a lot of that kind of built out. I'm just going to do that in like July, August, and it's just going to be a film study. So it'll hold you guys over for July and August because I still want to do that. And it makes sense that time of year. So, Eric's off-season preview video that he normally does, he's recorded it. I need to edit it, so stay tuned for that. And then I want to do little 4 or 5 6-minute videos on how a bunch of different prospects would fit with the Blazers. So you might get like 2-3 uploads Saturday, Sunday. That's my goal. Okay. I'm going to set aside time to do content. So hopefully you enjoy. Eric, anything else?
Thanks everyone for tuning in. Hope you have a great weekend. Of course, if the Blazers make a trade between now and the draft, we'll also be streaming to talk about that as well. But yeah, Blazers are in a situation where I don't know what to expect, man. I have no idea how this is going to play out or what would happen in the scenarios we brought up tonight. Yeah, luckily we only have a few days till we find out part of the pieces of the puzzle.
Crazy stuff, man. Crazy stuff. There is a storm on the horizon, Eric. And it's coming for the Portland Trail Blazers. Who knows what happens? Maybe we get lucky and get struck by lightning and trade up for Alex Sarr. Or our house gets blown down because we trade up for freaking Reed Shepherd. Or we something with Steven between now and then. Maybe we'll live stream it. I'm not sure. Maybe we'll record it. I'll ask him what he wants to do. That would be over on the second channel, Blazers Uprise Podcast. If you want to subscribe, link in the description box below. Draft stream live Wednesday. I think that's it. We're out of here. We will catch you next time. Thank you for watching. Until then, as always, peace out. Go Blazers!